Morning. We'll start off with, we have one player with a designation. Nakobe Dean will start camp on PUP. He's doing a great job with his rehab. Can't wait to get him back. Other than that, everyone else will be on the fields. One more time. Full attendance. Everyone else will be on the field.
Howie, when you built this roster, curious how you took into effect how young you are on the defensive side of the ball as you come along.
Yeah, I think that when you look at how we're built offensively, a lot of guys that are in the prime of their careers that we're coming up on free agency, so extended them. And, you know, we look at our resources, whether it's draft picks or money, all kind of in the same boat. So if you're taking guys in the first round, to us, that's the same as paying guys big money on their contracts. So we still have a lot of resources on the defensive side of the ball. A lot of young players, a lot of who have played together, which is exciting, and obviously great opportunity for them.
Nick, you said one of your main messages in your mini camp was the guys who showed up in great shape. How have you seen the conditioning test and everybody showing up?
Yeah, I think the guys have worked hard to put themselves in position to start camp. So all the guys came back in really good shape, weighing what they're supposed to weigh, doing really well on the conditioning test. And that's what camp's for too. You know, I know these guys worked hard to be ready for that, but we'll do a lot of things that, you know, in the weight room, on the practice field, that are going to emphasize that conditioning. I think it's very clear the way we want to play football, with great physicality, with great detail, with great effort. There's no substitute there. You have to be in great shape. So we'll continue to push these guys to be in great shape, and I think we're off to a good start based off the conditioning test yesterday. Yeah, I'm excited about that entire room. It'll be fun to get out there and compete. You know, and that's what it is. That's what training camp is competition. Competing every day. That's what the season is. It's a great preparation for the season when you're competing your butt off to get ready to play each game and during each game. So I'm really excited about that room. You know, you get some guys back for their second, third year, but then you also got some young guys that I'm really excited about to see. And I know Bobby King and Ronell will do a great job. Obviously, the linebacker position is Vic's specialty as well. He'll have his hands all over that as well, and excited to see how these guys develop. And that's our job. You know, how he gets us great players, and you know, you can't be great without great players, that's for sure. But our job is to develop them to become even better players through their fundamentals, through their awareness of the offense and the defense, through their situational football awareness. And so that's what this time's for.
When thinking about it with the sun, do you think there's any chance there's a picture with us without our eyes closed?
Yeah, you're going to see him out there today, like Howie said, and it would be fun to get him out there and start working with him. He looked like he had a great summer, and excited to have him out there working. Yeah, anytime you're able to step out into the field, it's huge, right? Because we look at every day of how we're trying to get better. Our goals in training camp are to get you know, same thing. It's to get in great shape, playing shape. You know, they came back ready for the conditioning test. They're in good shape, but now it's time to get in great playing shape because it's a little bit different. You know, it's to work with great detail, right? Doing the ordinary things better than anybody else does it. How do we tackle better? How do we take care of the football better? How do we take the football away better? How do we fit blocks better? How do we take better angles on tackles? Those will be emphasized, and then how you coming together as a football team each and every day. That's so important at this time to come together as a football team, and you do that through, you know, suffering together. Training camp, football practice isn't fun all the time, right? Training camp's not fun all the time, but you suffer together to come closer together. And so not only Jihad, but our entire team, we're trying to focus on, you know, that conditioning, our detail, and also coming together as a football team.
Speakers work.
Yeah.
In terms of the promotions and football ops, all earned. All the people that got promoted did it because of the work that they've done. And, just like we evaluate our players, we evaluate everyone in our front office. In terms of Joe Douglas, obviously personally very excited for him to be back. Unbelievable knowledge of this league. Will be a great resource for all of our scouts, all our front office people, having another GM in the building who can help develop our staff, because our staff development's a big thing. And he'll be involved like a lot of the other people. Every decision that we make, we talk about, we discuss. Obviously, I'm responsible at the end of the day for that, but couldn't be more excited to have him back, along with the rest of the staff that came back. Very fortunate that we didn't get totally decimated, though we did lose a couple of really good people that I'll miss.
Yeah, just great football coaches, right? There's a lot that goes into it, right? I think a lot of people think it's just about scheme. Obviously, his scheme's really good, and obviously his scheme is tried and copied across the entire league, and so he has a great scheme. But all the little things, of the fundamentals and the detail of how he tries to get guys better that way. So, that's always, every time I'm looking at a football coach, do they have good scheme, and can they get the players better, and can they relate to the players? And I think we see that, all those things with Vic.
Patch had been, he and I have been together really since I started. I was here maybe 6 months before he came in. Incredible person, incredible friend, incredible resource for me. It was just an opportunity for him to really kind of put his spin on a team that really needed him, get closer to home. He's a West Coast guy. When you talk about like what we look for in a football team and toughness and character, Andy Patch represents all that. This guy has overcome whatever it is to continue to stay loyal to the Eagles, win 2 world championships. I'm going to miss Anthony Patch.
For you personally, how different does the start of this camp feel back at the bottom of the mountain and reaching the top of the mountain last season?
Feels the same, right? You got a lot of steps to go and daily work to put in. So every year at the training camp feels the same. You're not looking back, you're not looking forward. You're solely focused on today and how we can get better today. And so when you have that mindset, when you have that focus that we want to have as a football team, that's how everyone should be feeling. Is, hey, how am I getting better today? Not thinking about anything else. Yeah, I've seen him to this point the same way. Very hyper focused on the day, and ready to attack the day.
How you always been a general manager that's signed your draft relatively early on in the third year. Why is that important?
When you talk about culture, and I think that's like a big picture word that a lot of people throw around, and it's hard to really define what that means. But I think from our perspective, when people understand that when they start here, that they have an opportunity to continue here and get rewarded here, it's incredibly important, so that when you draft guys, you can show them examples. If you do the right thing on and off the field, we're going to make sure that we keep you here and maybe even have a chance to finish your career here. And I think that just from our perspective, and everyone's got to do things their own way. I'm not saying it's perfect. We make a lot of mistakes. But from our way, that's a core tenet of what we're trying to do here. We're trying to draft, develop, sign. And when you do that with players, your opportunity to set up continuity, your ability to really set up leaders for your football team going forward who can show young players the way and how we do things, I think that gives you a chance to be special.
Hey, now that you've had a little time to process everything that was said, done, not done in the offseason, the push plays, the push some of the fever pitch that where you took the March meeting and May meeting. How do you look back at that now and look forward to that play?
Yeah, we just try to continue to get better at that football play and the compliments that come off of it. There's so many things that are out of your control, and you just truly have to focus on the things that you can control. I mean, that's a good with everything with that, that's a good preview of how the season happens. There's things that are going to be out of your control, and you got to focus on the next play, and that's all we've tried to do.
John asked how he wanted to go about
Come back.
defense. What do you like about it? You got the youngest defense in the league. What do you like about it?
Yeah, again, you like the first and foremost the talent of the guys that we have out there. Obviously, every guy is here for a reason, picked by Howie and our team, and so excited about them and that, and then their mindset of the type of people they are. So just excited to work with that group, and we played young guys last year. Again, we'll play the guys that best help us win football games. That's what we're in the business of, is winning football games. So the best guys that help us win football games will be the guys that are in there, young, old, middle. It doesn't matter. So, but that's what this is about. You got young guys competing against veterans, and excited to see how those competitions play themselves out.
And I would say the other thing to that, Ruben, is just, can I finish? I'm sorry. I would say the other thing with that, Ruben, is that it's not like these guys are new to playing with each other. A lot of these guys, when you look down the defensive roster, they have continuity within each other. You watch some of the guys who played together, whether it was last year or together in college, and they have chemistry. They understand what the other guys are thinking. And so I think that from that perspective, there is some experience together. I'm sorry.
Nick, you obviously sought out some advice from folks coming off of a championship in terms of messaging. You have a guy sitting next to you who has obviously lived through it with a different coaching staff, but been through it. How much has Howie and other guys in the building been a reference point for you?
Yeah, sure. Howie and I talk every day about, you name it. We talk about it. So huge resource to have Howie. Not in many aspects, obviously, not only the best GM in the NFL of acquiring talent and being great at his job, but also in his experiences. And so, yeah, you reach out to everybody, and we talk about this with the players a lot, right? We say, who better for our young tackles to learn from than Lane Johnson, or how did Cam Jurgens learn the center position so well, besides the fact that, he played great in college? Well, Jason Kelsey, well, the same thing here with how he's been through it, and being able to lean on him in situations like that is obviously a huge resource for myself.
Yeah, I think that's a tribute to Coach and his staff about wanting young players to develop, understanding these talented players that can help us. We saw it last year with our team. Really, we've seen it since Nick's been here, that they want the best players to play, and if they're young players with incredible talent, that's why you're drafting guys high. And it's a great opportunity for our young players to understand that playtime is available, and that's going to be sorted out through competition, through every day. There's not a day that goes by that we don't talk about this roster, including in the off season, and talk about what we're looking for and what we're seeing and what we really need. And so I think our message to our players is go compete, and let things lay out there. And it doesn't matter if they're here 1 year or 5 years. Obviously, I think on defense we only have 3 guys over 25 years old, but they've been playing football for a long time. Yeah, I think that you got to look at that again just the same way we look at the resource allocation question. For us, it's the picks that we have. We have a lot of picks next year. We're expecting to have 13 picks in next year's draft, and those can be used to improve the team this year. They can be used to improve the team next year. They could be used to improve the team in the third year, And so I think from our perspective, whatever opportunity comes about that can improve this football team, I mean, if there's an incremental difference on a player who's the 90th guy from a guy who's on the street, we're going to make that change. And we owe that to our fans. We owe that to our players. We owe that to Jeffrey to do whatever we can to keep improving the talent level on the team. And so the way that I look at it is that we have a lot of young players coming down the pipeline that we want to keep in Philadelphia, but we want to win. And we want to win right now. We want to win next year, and we want to win going forward. And that's my job, to try to balance it. And I'll do whatever I can to make sure that happens. I think when I look back at that moment, some of the lessons, and there were a lot of lessons, and we've talked about it over the course of the year, is like as much as you love the players, the staff, we got to keep getting better. And there are teams that are improving throughout the off season that we got to keep up with, and we got to do whatever it takes to put our best team forward, our best foot forward. And so those are hard decisions. Those are hard conversations. It's not fun. But at the end of the day, we have a responsibility, and our responsibility is to continue to get better as a team. There's no resting on laurels, and sometimes those mean making some changes. And we made some changes. I think when you look back at that 2018 team, there were a lot of lessons. We didn't start incredibly hot. Obviously, we finished really well, had an opportunity in the second round of the playoffs. But when you look forward from that, not only what happened in 18, but what happened in 19, what happened in 20. And I think that we're positioned, and that's all we are, because we got to make good decisions. We're positioned to put ourselves to compete here, not only this year, but going forward.
What do you look for in second and third year players? What's your experience? How much they typically improve from that?
Yeah, everybody's different. You know, our job is just to continue to try to develop them, and their job is to work their butts off to try to develop. So, you know, obviously you know a little bit more about them going through an entire season with them. You know what their strengths are, what their things that they need to work on are, and so you just try to continue to develop that. But every situation is a little bit different as far as, you know, rookies, you know, veterans, second-year players, third-year players.
Competition a lot, and that's obviously what training camp is all about. And I know you're looking at everything as you come into it, but is there a specific position group or guys who you're kind of very intrigued about how their off-season was and how they're coming into camp?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, obviously not going to get into, you know, position battles or anything like that. We talk about that daily. Howie and I talk about that daily. We'll talk about that as a staff daily in our staff meetings. But looking forward to seeing how some of those play themselves out. But everything, yeah, we don't pencil in, hey, this guy is there or this guy's there, because we're working to compete with pads on. Obviously today, no pads on as we get acclimated. But you know, things will sort themselves out. I think that's why we don't give you a lot of information of like, hey, these are the guys. Things are going to sort themselves out. There's a lot of practice time. There's a lot of things to play out before we do that. But yeah, really looking forward to seeing these guys compete today.
Last one. You guys, for a while, get questioned about how much guys work for the right? Stars, how long the practice. The NFL schedule's changed a lot. 17 games, probably do it 18, games get flexed. How much do you continue to reevaluate and think about how we do the offseason? Because I think it's changing all the time.
I'm very fortunate to have someone sitting next to me who's thinking about that from the time the season ends, the confetti falls, and he's talking about what we're doing next year, and he's thinking about ways to improve. He's constantly evolving his thought process. He's picking the heads of every expert we have, not only in this building, but throughout this league and every league. And I have tremendous confidence in his ability to get our team ready to play. And so I defer to him on those things, and the conversations that we have where he's telling me the why of it is so in depth and so well thought out that it makes me sleep really well at night.
Yeah. Again, every situation's a little bit different, but you know, you're looking at to do the best thing for your football team. Now, in my experience, the best thing for the football team is to practice and get better at football. You don't get better at football by thinking about football. You get better at football by practicing. So you're always thinking about health and this and that, but you know, teams that aren't in good shape, that's where some injuries happen. You know, obviously there's some things happen that with bad luck as well, but you know, our goal and our mission is to be in best shape we possibly can be. You only get that by working here. But there's a fine line. There's a fine line of, you know, when to push, when to pull back, you know, but how you get better at football is by practicing football, and that'll be our emphasis here this next month.
Is this a sauna?
Thanks, folks.
Are we in a sauna? So hot. It's on the pasta.